Hi, I'm Mary Carney with Seventh Bone Tailoring. I tailor on set for our commercial clients, anything from celebrities, advertising, to e-commerce, but I'm also a certified yoga instructor. Today I'm going to show you how to work with stretch fabrics, creating a t-shirt into a tote bag that I'm going to be using as a yoga bag to fit my yoga mat. To get started, we're going to find an old t-shirt from our closet or anything you want to upcycle. I found mine at a thrift store, just a basic t-shirt, and I decided to turn mine inside out for a nice distressed look, and I also like the navy seaming against the gray background. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it out. We're going to find ourselves a ruler, some sort of straight edge, and we're going to take a piece of chalk or a pen or marker. And I'm going to find the line directly below the armhole. So we're going to go from side seam to side seam. We're going to draw a nice line so when we're ready to cut, we have a good straight edge. So cut along that line, remove the top piece of your t-shirt and put it aside for later. So now we have our bag size. So our next step is we're going to turn the fabric to inside out, which is a bit confusing sometimes because we're using the inside as the right side. So remember, your right sides are here. We're going to turn it to the wrong side and sew the wrong sides together so we have a nice clean seam for the bottom of our bag. We're lucky that we already have our hems matching up nicely. So we're just going to do a few horizontal pins to make sure it stays in place. Normally we would like to sew stretch fabrics on a serge or some type of overlock or a chain stitch machine, but we're going to be using a zigzag today because that's what works on our home sewing Bernina. I'm not going to make mine too wide because we still want some durability at the bottom of the bag, so right now I'm at a 2 for width. I'm going to go over one more time just so we make sure we have a nice strong seam since it's going to be the bottom of the bag. Since we're working with a jersey knit t-shirt, the fabric doesn't have a fraying capability, so we're actually just going to cut it and the remainder of the fabric will just nicely roll over itself. We're going to turn it back right sides. And we have our cute nice base. I like this little chain stitch that we had originally from the t-shirt. Now we're going to learn how to make a nice little hem at the top. And I also think it's kind of fun that we have this logo. It kind of makes it unique. So because this t-shirt is a tube knit and it has a lot of stretch, we're actually going to do a stabilizing stitch before we turn back the hem. Bringing your foot right in line with the edge of the fabric, we're just going to give ourselves a nice little quarter base. We're going to turn the bag back inside out so we can prepare to make our hem. So as you can see, this kind of rolls, but we had the base stitch there just so when we bring it to the sewing machine, we have a nice flat surface that we can follow. So I'm going to take my measuring tape or grid ruler, whatever you'd like, and I'm going to do a 1.5 hem. Once again, we're going to have some straight pins to make sure that we keep a nice same length and width of hem all the way around. Because the fabric has stretch, you might have to ease in the side seams. That's okay. It's going to stretch together. When you bring it in the feed dogs, you're going to have a nice, strong seam. Now we're going to remove the top piece of your machine, and we're going to bring it back all the way over that initial basting stitch we did. Don't pull too hard, but make sure you just have a nice grip on the fabric, otherwise your stretching is going to create puckering on the hem. Once again, turn your bag right side out. And you have a nice fun seam at the top. I think the zigzag gives it a nice little look as well. For our next step, we're going to put the bag aside and we're going to take out the top of the t-shirt that we had from before. So this is the fun part where you can really decide what you would like the straps to be. Always the option to use something else you have at home, ribbon, elastic, or a belt, but I'm going to use the same fabric that came from our original t-shirt. I'm going to take the grid ruler and I'm just going to make a nice straight line again from armhole to armhole. I'm going to make 2 for the ending bag straps. We're going to double up the fabric so it's more durable. I'm just going to cut the sleeves off because I also want to use them later for pockets. So because I like the opposite side of the fabric this time, I'm going to do one opposite and one from the other side. I'm also going to keep a frayed edge because I like the look of the rolled edge. I also think it adds to the chain stitch that we already have going on this inside out looking bag. Once your fabric is in line, go ahead, pin it together again. And this time I'm just going to do 2 zigzags on each side, aligning my foot with the outer edge of the fabric. We're going to do the same step on the other side. I'm also going to do one more zigzag down the center, this time making it a little bit wider, mostly just for aesthetic appeal. I'm going to finish my second strap, same stitching. They should be the same size. What you want to do is just lay them on top of each other and true them up, so even though we didn't measure them perfectly, individually they're the same size. Now you grab your bag and you want to find the placement. So I'm going to mark my bag here, both sides. Then we're going to use that zigzag stitch as a guide. So you can either do it on the inside if you want a clean look. I'm actually going to do mine on the outside because I like that. Once again, the edge is in line with the zigzag and the side of the strap is in line with my nice marking. Same thing on the opposite side. Remember, you don't want to have your strap twisted, so lay it flat so you know both right sides are coming to face you. Now time to stitch them down. We're going to do a couple different durability stitches to make sure they stay in place. This time I'm going to turn it back to a straight stitch just because we don't need to have any stretch on this strap. I'm going to do a straight stitch across the bottom. We're going to turn our needle and follow it up to the top of the hem, making a nice rectangle stitch, following the line of the top of the bag, and all the way back down to meet it. Now this may be enough for strength, but I'm going to do one more cross stitch to go across the center. We're going to repeat that on all 4 straps, but now we have a nice clean finish on both sides, making a nice rectangle, crisscross, pretty strong. Once all your 4 straps are done, I'm just finishing up clipping the threads, and then I'm going to bring the other part of the t-shirt in to make some pockets. I'm going to take the sleeves and make some nice little functional pockets. Cutting from the armhole straight up, we're just going to leave it as it is. It can stay open. I'm going to put mine on the front of my bag. Can go either way. I think I like it this way. Now I'm just going to go around the edge. Remember only to sew through the front ply of the fabric so we don't sew through the back. Zigzag, straight stitch, whichever you would like. Slowly go around your corners, making sure to pivot to get a nice straight turn. It's nice to do a strong back stitch at the top of the header just because that's where the pressure and the stretch is going to come from when things are inserted into the pocket. I'm also going to do a diagonal stitch like I did on the straps for extra durability. Finding the pocket header, finding the point of your stitch, and following the line up diagonally. If you like, you have an extra sleeve. You can always add more pockets. This actually has 2 sleeves inside the pocket, which is great. Maybe one for your phone, one for your keys. Now let's try it out. Fits my bag pretty well over my shoulder. Thank you for watching 7th Bone Tailoring on weallsew.com. This is how to make a tote bag, and follow us for more videos. Thanks.